back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I'm here today to do my February TBR. I am super excited to read so many things in February. It's gonna be a good month. I can feel it. I have lots of buddy reads planned, which always makes me excited. So let's just launch straight into this and I'll tell you what I'm planning on. The first thing I have planned is Sea Lovers by Valerie Martin. I recently got gifted this one by Elizabeth and I'm super excited to give it a go. It's a collection of short stories as far as I know, and it sounds like it's going to be a good one. Hopefully it is. I'm planning to read this with my friend Will. It says, wondrous beings and everyday monsters walk these pages. There are 12 different stories and I believe it's a magical realism style book, so I will report back on this one once I've read it and let you know what I think. The next two books I have are both from subscription boxes that I'm subscribed to. The first one is from Mercedes' subscription box, which is called Moth Box. It's called Trio and it's by Sue G. This was in the December box, I think it was. I'm not sure. It was in the first box that she did and I haven't got around to reading it yet, so I really want to. This one appeals to me mainly because of the cover. I think it's going to be a fairly Mercedes book with like slow character build up, and hopefully it'll be really charming and lovely and kind of interesting. So I'm looking forward to this. I believe it's got something to do with music, hence the piano, but I don't really know a whole lot about it and I don't really want to know a whole lot about it because I trust Mercedes. So I think this will be good, fingers crossed, and I can't wait to report back to you guys. Speaking of subscription boxes, I just got my February subscription box from Book Buddy Box, and the book that was in there is Golden Boy. I'm trying to stay really on top of the Book Buddy Box books and make sure that I'm keeping up to date with them, and so far I have managed that, so I'm trying to do it again with this one. I believe it's a contemporary story about a child who was born intersex, but this child is called Max, and Max discovers something or has something happen to him that means he questions himself and his family, and he has a big secret, and I don't really know much more than that, but that already sounds good to me, so I'm hoping it'll be a really good depiction of intersex and hopefully I'll really like it. So nice contemporary one to try out. Now going back to the good old fantasy, this book just turned up in the post. It is Blood Upon the Sand by Bradley Beaulieu. This is the second book in his series, the Shattered Sands series I believe it's called. The first one being 12 Kings, and I really enjoyed 12 Kings, so I'm super excited to finally have this one. This one I believe comes out in February, so if you've not already got it you can pick it up from the 9th. This one was sent to me for review from Galant's, which I requested because I wanted this book super badly, so I'm excited, and I won't tell you too much about it. If you want to know more, go and check out my 12 Kings review, which I will link, but I really enjoyed the first, so I'm hoping for good things from this one too. Fingers crossed. Moving on to SFF Mistress Works, which is my kind of hashtag I'm using for my sci-fi and fantasy reading project that I'm doing this year. The first of those is one I'm doing a buddy read for with Amanda. I'll link her channel below, and I'm going to be reading The Female Man by Joanna Russ. As always, I'll be having discussions of all of these books on Twitter using the SFF Mistress Works hashtag, and also on my Goodreads group, which is also called SFF Mistress Works, so go and check that out. And if you want to join in with me or you want to talk to me, you can feel free to join in on either of those places. I will definitely be excited to get to this. As far as I know, it's kind of revolutionary, and Elizabeth and lots of other people seem to love this, and I've read some of her work before and I really enjoyed it, so hopefully I'll like her fiction as much as I enjoyed the non-fiction. The next book I'll be planning to read as part of my SFF Mistress Works is Patricia A. McKillip's The RIDDLE-MASTER'S Game. This is a bind-up of all three in the series, The Riddle-Master of Head, Heir of Sea and Fire, and Harpist in the Wind, so hopefully I can get to all three this month. As far as I know, this is a kind of classic fantasy, which is always good. Patricia A. McKillip does that well from what I've read of her before, but she also does a few twists on the classic. And the next one I have on my list is a super awesome one. I'm very excited to get to this. It's also our Magical Space Pussycats pick for this month, so if you are participating in Magical Space Pussycats read-alongs, then this is the book you're going to want to pick up. A short story collection called Her Smoke Rose Up Forever by James Tiptree Jr. I have never read any James Tiptree Jr., which is terrible of me, and I feel so bad because I hear so many good things about her. I am so excited to read this. I think it's going to be brilliant and I have high hopes, so fingers crossed she meets them. The next one I have is on my Kindle because that's where I'm going to be reading it. It's an erotica book, I believe, and it's by ALISHA Ray, or Rye. It's called A Gentleman in the Street, and this is actually the pick for February for the Sexy in 17 Goodreads group, which is hosted by Chelsea from A Reading Outlaw. I'll link her and her Goodreads group down below. I participated in the first one, which was for A Promise of Fire. I didn't really like that one, but I believe this is more erotica, and that one was more a YA crossover, new adult kind of fantasy thing, which I didn't like, so hopefully this will be better. I've got high hopes, fingers crossed. The next one I have is The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, or Wow. This is by Junot DIAZ. I've heard great things from a lot of people about this author, but I've never read any of their work myself, so I want to. I believe that Chelsea and Ellie said they might be interested in buddy reading this. It says, things have never been easy for Oscar, a ghetto nerd living with Dominican-American family in New Jersey. He's disastrously overweight, keeps falling hopelessly in love, and dreams of becoming the next Tolkien. Well, that sounds good. Meanwhile, his punk sister Lola wants to run away, and his resolute mother, Belly, can't seem to let either of them go. Moving across generations and continents, from Belly's tragic past in the Dominican Republic to struggles and dreams in suburban America, this is the wondrous story of Oscar and his family in their search for love and belonging. I got recommended this one by Ellie after I read The Good Immigrant, and I said I needed more books about immigration. Apparently this is a really, really good one that's fiction, so I'm excited to give it a go. The next one is probably one of the first books I'll be reading in February. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings, and it's Crossroads of Canopy by THORAIYA DYER. I was sent this one for review from Tor, and I'm super excited to have it on my most anticipated releases for 2017. Hopefully I like it. I've heard kind of mixed things about it since it's been released, but I'm hopeful that I will really like it still, and I think the concept sounds fascinating. It's about a society which has lots of gods involved in it and also has hierarchies, so the people who live in the canopy are the top, and then there's people lower down and even further than that, and it sounds like it's going to be really interesting, so hopefully it is. It's quite short and it's a debut, so fingers crossed. And the final book that I would love to get through in February is this beast of a book, which is quite a long one. This one is The Empress of the Fall. It's by David Hare, and it's the first book in the Sun Surge Quartet. I am so excited about this book. I've already started it. I'm about 20 pages in, so not very far, but I love this world. It is set in the same world as the Moontide Quartet series, but it's set a few years after that, and it follows various different characters from the first one. So far we haven't had any overlap, but I'm sure we will very, very soon because it's already being hinted at, and I'm really excited to go back to this world, the world of Urt, and see my favourite places and magic systems and hopefully some of the people as well. It was great, great, great fun when I read the Moontide Quartet. I'm head over heels in love with all of the characters, and I really, really enjoy David Hare as a writer. I think he's one of my all-time favourites. So I would hugely recommend that you look out for this in March when it comes out, but in the meantime I'm going to try and read it in February so I can do a review for you in March when it comes out. So really excited for this and hopeful that I'll love it, but obviously it's a big one, so it's going to take me probably a fair while, but I'm excited. So that's everything, I think, that I'm planning on reading in February. I know it's a lot, but I did really well in January, so I'm hopeful that I can keep that momentum going into February and read a lot there as well. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Let me know what you're going to be reading in February. If you're going to be reading any of the same things as me, tell me about them. And I will see you all very soon in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.